So a few minutes ago, Colette and I were just sitting on the couch, Sunday morning, just finished breakfast. We heard an odd sound. Kind of sounded like a...
Like a drill?
Like a drill, yeah, something like that. And Colette looked out the door, saw that it was smoky out on our back deck. And I want to show you guys something. So what you're seeing here is these are our shore power and air conditioner and heater plugs. The one that's still plugged in is our shore power, so that powers all the outlets on the boat, everything like that. The one that you see that's totally burned out is our air conditioner. Now, it was plugged in on the pedestal, but we don't have anything on. Nothing has been turned on. But it made this crazy noise. It's pretty warm, but it's still very charred. So we've had this issue before with our shore power, in that we were overloading it, we think, when we had heaters plugged into the boat. But we've never had an issue with this, especially when there's no power being run through this at all. So the only thing I can think of is that this wrap was put on 2 weeks ago now, and that maybe there was just a little too much pressure in there and it was pushing against it, and for some reason it looks like it was really getting hot there at this connection point, but then it also got super hot there. I mean, you can see how charred it is. So not exactly sure what caused that, but it has me worried. We've actually had this experience in a few different winters, but it hasn't happened in a few years because we no longer run any of our heaters through the boat. All of our heaters are powered by their own cords that go directly to the pedestal. We run nothing through the boat. But I'm really curious about this because there was no power being pulled through this circuit at all. We have nothing on. Nothing is turned on there. So here you can see our two power inlets. This is for the shore power. This runs all of the outlets and everything. This is the one that runs the air conditioning. And you can see not only is it off, but I had slid over this little thing so that we couldn't plug into shore power. The last time I think I had it on was when I was running the generator to get it prepped for winter and winterized. So there's no way that there was any power even coming into here. So a little confused as to why this circuit went bad and burned up like that when there was no power at all possibly being used there. So I wanted to pull this cord out just to get that smell. I mean, it really stinks from this burning plastic. So I kind of pulled this out. That wrap is really tight, so I couldn't just pull it off of the boat. I just kind of pulled it this way. And you can see it's been sitting here now for a couple of hours. And if you look on the swim platform, you can see all of this water that has been dripping out of it this whole time. So what I'm seeing here is that there must have been a large amount of water that got into this orange housing and has just been sitting in there, and for some reason at this moment it decided to make some sort of a short, some sort of connection, and burn the thing up. This is the only thing that I can think of at the moment. I'm going to open this up in a few days. It's no rush because there's no more power going to it, but I'm going to open it up in a few days and take a look inside. So where is this water coming from? I've talked to SmartPlug. They've been actually really great about this. A few years ago when we were having an issue, they actually, at the time I had a previous SmartPlug meltdown, we were concerned that because this boat has the inlets at a slight angle and they angle a little bit up, that was what was causing the water to get in. So they actually sent me that black section that comes back from the orange housing back onto that yellow cord. They actually sent me a longer version that they were testing out, and I put that on. but it still seemed like it wasn't sealing perfectly, and that if there was any rain or anything like that, it could get water in there. We've also considered maybe condensation when the weather is cool and it's chilly outside. The outside of the cord is cold, but then it's warm on the inside of the boat because that's where our bedroom is right there. But it's not really that warm there because there's a wall on the inside, so it shouldn't be that warm, but it might be enough to make some condensation. So I don't know, but somehow it looks like there's water that has gotten into this orange housing and caused this short. I suppose because I didn't have any power going into the boat, I probably should have turned off the breaker on the pedestal so that cord wouldn't have been live in the first place. But I mean, we live aboard our boat. We always have power going in. I suppose it's good if you want to turn your power off at your pedestal every single time you leave your boat. That's probably the safest way to do it. But we don't do that. We live on our boat. We have a hot water heater that we'd like to keep hot. We have clocks that we'd like to run. We just can't turn our power off every single time. So I'm a little concerned about why this is happening. Anyway, looks like I'm going to have to replace it. I think I'll probably still go with the SmartPlug. I do believe in the SmartPlug because it has a better surface area to make that connection when you connect the plug to the boat. But it's definitely something scary, and I worry now about my shore power. I have looked at it. I took it off. I looked at it. It looks dry. But if that water is getting inside the plug itself, I can't see that water. Well, it's the next day, and I've been worried about this other inlet. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to disconnect the power, and I'm going to pull that inlet off, and I'm going to open it all up, and I'm going to make sure that there isn't water inside that other orange housing. So let's take a look and see what happens. Okay, now I have no power going to the boat. Obviously I still have my heaters going, but this is the main power, so I'm not going to electrocute myself. So because we have the bridge on right now, I can't really just go down on the swim platform and grab that and check it out. So I've got to kind of lean over here and try to pull that up into the back and check it out. So let's see. All right, so I can't really pull it much farther. And there's a rubber gasket in here that I'm gonna try to get out. And then once I get that out, I can get access to the 4 screws that hold this piece on. Okay, I moved the chair out of the way so you guys can see a little bit better. I've got a couple of picks here that hopefully will be better to help me get this. Now it's a matter of just sliding this whole piece back down onto the length of the cord. I'll probably use a little bit of lube, but the good thing is I'm not seeing any water coming out yet. I can see in here that it's nice and dry. All of the connections are in good shape. Everything is exactly the way that I installed it a few years ago. So very happy to see that. I'm gonna put it all back together, put it back on the boat, knowing that we should be safe. Well, it's nice and tight, although I'm having a little issue with this rubber coming out here. The rubber doesn't want to slide down this yellow cord, so the rubber is getting a little hung up. Try to slide it down a little bit more, and I want to make sure that this is making a good watertight connection or else it just defeats the purpose of what I just checked. So this is made by Sandchem Incorporated, which is actually located at 1600 South Canal Street here in Chicago. I mean, they're literally like a mile away from here. I ordered it online. I didn't even realize that they were local, but it's a good dielectric grease, and I'm going to put it on the metal parts that are on the inlet itself, because I can't quite get them into here, but it's just going to give that good lubrication to make sure that it makes a good electrical connection. Okay, that's plugged in. Time to get the power back on. So last step is to flip the breaker on the inside. You never want to have this breaker on when you're plugging into shore power. Always want to make sure that this breaker is off. So now we're just going to flip this breaker back on. Got to go set a couple of clocks, and we should be all good. So feeling pretty confident about our power, and I don't think that we're going to have any sort of an issue. As I said, it looks like there was a lot of water that got into that other one, and this one that we still have hooked up doesn't have any moisture in it at all. All the connections still look good, everything looks great. So pretty confident that it's in good shape and it's gonna continue to last for years. Let us know what you think. Feel free to write in the comments below, and please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks very much for watching.